What's up everyone, welcome back to another What If video. So today's video is another collab with my boy SmugStick. He'll have part 2 to this scenario on his channel and I'll link that above. But right now, we'll be covering the beginning of the scenario. Our scenario today is a kinda odd one. It revolves Trunks teleporting too far back in time. And due to some unfortunate events, he gets stuck there. For this video, let's set a like goal of 2,500 likes. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Trunks departs from his timeline, wanting to restore the peace and defeat the androids. He's confident. By going back in time, he could alter the course of history. But he does have to be careful though. And for all he knows, things could go wrong otherwise. Maybe the time machine doesn't take him back to the right place, maybe not the same time. There's so many variables and so much that can go wrong. But he remains hopeful. It's plastered on the side of the time machine after all. Hope, it's his motto. The hybrid Saiyan steps in the time machine and goes back to the past. Unfortunately, or maybe even fortunately, everything goes wrong. Malfunctioning during the travel, his time machine suddenly alters its course, going decades behind where it's supposed to be. Trunks is quickly able to act and stop it before it goes back too far, but it's already too late. He now ends up farther in the past. Thankfully, he has enough for a round trip, so he can just return to the future, although that means they're going to have to waste more time getting fuel again. But as he's about to depart, he notices something. A boy with spiky hair, out in the forest in which he teleported to, and he's running right towards Trunks in his time machine. Trunks immediately steps out, prepared to defend, but the boy speeds past him, instead attacking the time machine, seeing it as a threat. Trunks watches in horror as the boy destroys the machine, easily being able to dismantle it and then setting his sights on Trunks. Who is this kid? Why did he do that? Where are his parents? Joke's on Trunks, this kid has no parents. Trunks is easily able to fend off the kid, and in his anger he begins questioning him, but his heart slowly drops as he comes to the realization. This kid isn't just some random kid, it's Goku. How far back did he go? As this all sets in, and he realizes he might be stuck here, someone else shows up out of the blue. It's a car with the Capsule Corp logo plastered on the side. And thankfully for the car, it gets to survive this time. Goku doesn't beat it up. And immediately from the Capsule Corp logo, Trunks could tell that this would be trouble, as a younger version of his mom steps out of the car. She does look very different, but it's clearly her. I mean, she is wearing a shirt that says Bulma after all. Goku is still on guard though, thinking that two people are attacking him. But Bulma is able to calm him down and explain why she's here. She's looking for the Dragon Balls. Although, she notices Trunks there. He's pretty cute, and she even hits on him a bit. Oh god, what did Trunks get himself into? He awkwardly keeps his distance from her, trying to turn the conversation into another direction. He mentions that she's looking for the Dragon Balls. He can help her. Anything to get her to stop flirting with him. Trunks feels like he's really screwing up the timeline, but whatever. He's already done enough, and his machine is busted. He's stuck here. He could get Bulma to fix it, but then that would mean he has to reveal that he's a time traveler, as well as the other parts of his origins. He doesn't want to screw up his chances of being born, so he keeps this to himself. His only course of action right now is to try and rectify this timeline, in whatever way he can. Well, Bulma accepts the help, and Goku heads along with them, thinking this could be a fun adventure. The thing is though, with Trunks here, getting the Dragon Balls isn't that hard at all. It's actually really easy. He's able to fend off any threats, fly them around, etc. Within not much time at all, Trunks is able to help them get most of the Dragon Balls. There's no threats whatsoever, but they do have an interesting encounter when looking for the last two Dragon Balls. They end up meeting Roshi, and through Bulma's convincing, they're able to get a Dragon Ball from him. And they only have one left now, which apparently is in the direction of a place called Fire Mountain. That rings a bell for Roshi. He mentions that his old student lives there, and maybe if they help him put out the fire there, he'll give them the Dragon Ball. Sounds simple enough, especially with Trunks. So they head to Fire Mountain, and with his sheer power alone, Trunks is able to create an air blast powerful enough to put out the fire, leaving the mountain intact as well. That wasn't so bad, and now they have the final Dragon Ball. Also, it makes Trunks a little hopeful because they met Chi-Chi there. Thank Kami he ended up here, because if they didn't meet the people at Fire Mountain, maybe Gohan won't be born. But unknowingly, he's already messed a lot of stuff up in this timeline. At least Goku knows Bulma and Chi-Chi though. But there's still one thing that Trunks needs to do. He needs to get Goku to train with Roshi somehow. Maybe Roshi can set him in the right direction. And he recommends that Goku sees the old man again. But Goku decides he doesn't want to. He wants to train with Trunks instead. He's seen how strong Trunks is, and he's pretty stubborn about it too. He'll stick by Trunks until Trunks decides to train him. Trunks doesn't even know what to do here, but he then gets interrupted as Bulma summons Shenron. And as Trunks has felt many times so far in this scenario, he feels his stomach drop once more, because he remembers what Bulma's wish was. Originally, she wanted strawberries, but after meeting Trunks, her priorities changed, and she realizes maybe it would be a cool idea if she wishes for a good boyfriend. Trunks is terrified. This could screw everything up. What is he supposed to do? Butt in and take the wish? Telling Bulma he'll date her instead? He can't think fast enough. and Bulma makes her wish. Shenron grants it, although he struggles bringing the boyfriend over. Nervously and with anticipation, Trunks watches. Seemingly coming out of space, a giant beam of light falls from the sky. Although it's a really odd situation, Trunks feels relief wash over him. The light dissipates and it's revealed who's there. A boy with a tail and spiky hair. Not too dissimilar to Goku. This has to be him. There's no way it isn't. Shenron brought Vegeta to Earth. Everyone's confused, especially him, and he's immediately angered. He demands to know where he is before he decides to kill everyone. Everyone doesn't take it seriously and they just ask who he is, introducing himself as Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans. Goku and Bulma are just as confused as Vegeta, and while Trunks is relieved, he feels like this still might screw up the timeline more since Vegeta's here so early on. And to make things even stranger, Vegeta's only 17 right now, and possibly, he might have not grown fully yet. Not only are Trunks and Vegeta the same age, but Trunks towers over him. Vegeta is so short it's actually hard for Trunks to not laugh. Sure, it's definitely possible that by this point, he could be full size, but knowing how Saiyans grow, there's also a good chance that he still looks like this. Bulma wonders why Shenron teleported a little boy here, but as it turns out, Vegeta's actually a bit older than Bulma, despite him being so tiny. He's had enough, and he decides to attack Goku and Bulma, but Trunks immediately steps in and stops him with zero effort. Trunks immediately grabs his scouter and shuts it off, because what he's about to explain is something that he doesn't want Frieza to hear. Trunks tells Vegeta about what just happened, telling him about the Dragon Balls and all. Vegeta is curious to hear about this, and curious about this Trunks guy's strength. Plus, it just so happens that right in front of him, there's another Saiyan. Vegeta can tell by the tail, Goku seems to be a low-class warrior. Wait a second, he remembers Raditz mentioned he had a brother somewhere. Is this the Kakarot? It 100% has to be. With all this info at once, Vegeta begrudgingly stays here on Earth. A Saiyan being here as well as the Dragon Balls entice him enough. Plus Trunks says he'll train him, trying to think of any way to entice Vegeta to stay. And through this, Goku ends up finding out that he's a Saiyan. Understandably, the group is pretty surprised, although Trunks pretends to act like he's shocked. This isn't really the biggest bombshell he's heard. As for Raditz and Nappa, Vegeta doesn't care too much, he'll just find them later. Trunks has kind of dug himself into a hole, and it's decided he'll have to stay back here, training Goku and Vegeta so they'll be strong enough when the androids show up. He's already screwed up the timeline enough, but he's still alive, so maybe, just maybe, things will be okay. Vegeta and Goku end up developing a relationship more like Goku and Krillin, as rivals and quote-unquote classmates. Trunks isn't really that good of a teacher, but we'll consider them classmates. Goku's way behind Vegeta in terms of power, but he does grow pretty rapidly. And, without witnessing Roshi do it, Goku never learns the Kamehameha. If anything, he'll be picking up techniques from Vegeta and Trunks. After about a year or so of training, they learn about the Red Ribbon Army, and that gets Trunks to remember, they can just deactivate the androids right now. Things are going pretty well for him. Goku and Vegeta are getting stronger, Vegeta's getting pretty friendly with Bulma, and Vegeta's full-sized. But now is a true test of their power, trying to destroy the Red Ribbon Army. And, with their training, as well as Trunks being there, even one of them would be overkill. Trunks is only there to make sure nothing is left, unsure of who actually made the androids, but Vegeta would probably end up destroying everything anyways. Every single member of the Red Ribbon Army dies, including Gero. And while Trunks still doesn't know where the androids are or who the person is that made them, the fact that the entire army is destroyed gives him hope. Maybe they're actually gone for good. But even with that, there's still other matters of business. Trunks really still needs to rectify this timeline. Bulma and Vegeta are somewhat together now, which is a relief for Trunks, but he can tell he's already altered a lot of events. But he's actually warming up to the idea of training these two. It's weird, at first he wanted to get out of here, but he's actually grown to like this training. So he decides he wants to step things up, and he reveals to the two of them that he's part Saiyan. Although, not revealing his origin or why he's so strong. He wants to get them to train to be as strong as possible, and he decides it's best to show off Super Saiyan right now. Needless to say, the two are amazed, especially Vegeta. So, the legend's true after all. Vegeta thinks this is awesome, and decides he's gonna contact Raditz and Nappa, saying he'll explain once they're here. On an encrypted channel, he messages them, telling them to get here under Frieza's radar. Trunks is a bit spooked by this, but after a few weeks, these two Saiyans show up, and Trunks doesn't know who they are. It turns out one of them is actually Goku's brother, Raditz. And Nappa is just Nappa. It's really strange for Raditz to see how un-Saiyan-like his brother is, but it's interesting to see how strong he is at this point too, as well as that Trunks guy. Wait a second, a new family member for Goku. It gets him thinking about Goku's family, and then it hits him. Oh crap, he needs to make sure Gohan is born in this timeline. But thankfully, he comes up with a scheme. He remembers before, Chi-Chi did kinda like Goku. At least it seems so when they met before. So, as a ploy, Trunks decides he's gonna recruit Chi-Chi to train her. and she ends up joining because she gets to be around Goku. This is perfect. It's a relief that she's now part of the crew and that Goku's with her, although both are still young at the moment. Trunks now has 5 people under his belt. 2 kids, Goku and Chi-Chi, 2 young adults, Vegeta and Raditz, and 1 Nappa. Fun fact, since Nappa's relatively younger, he may still have some of his hair, although it is starting to fall out. Poor guy. Things have kinda gotten out of hand really fast for Trunks, but he's sticking to his guns. He needs to at least make sure he and Gohan are born, so he's gonna stick around for the time being, not revealing his identity. And as you've probably noticed by now, none of them have been joining tournaments. Although, they do get wind of King Piccolo attacking tournament contestants. Bulma hears about it and tells the group. This guy seems like trouble and maybe they should stop him. Wait, Piccolo? Trunks remembers Gohan telling him stories about how Piccolo used to be a bad guy but turned good. So he definitely has to make sure that they don't kill Piccolo. The group is able to track down Piccolo and his minions. But something seems wrong. Was Piccolo actually this old before? Granted, Trunks has never seen him, but Gohan never mentioned this. Is there a chance that this isn't the same Piccolo that Gohan knew? Needless to say, the group's easily able to defeat him, before Trunks can even tell him to not kill him. But they're all disgusted to see King Piccolo launch an egg out of his mouth. That doesn't seem good. They're able to track down the egg and they see. It's a smaller Piccolo that came out of it. Oh, this must be the Piccolo that Gohan knew. The group's about to kill him, but Trunks has to stall them. With Piccolo confused as to why Trunks is protecting him, but Trunks freezes up as he hears a bellowing voice behind him. As Piccolo screams, he looks and sees a giant green light. With Piccolo being placed in some sort of container, Kami has intervened and sealed Piccolo Jr. and thanks everyone for their help. That's not what Trunks wanted. He can't just reveal why he's here and why he wants to release Piccolo, but I mean, at least Piccolo's not dead? And he guesses with Kami here they still have the Dragon Balls, but this still does not sit right with Trunks at all. He knows how vital Piccolo was to helping everyone, and this sticks in his mind. He kinda wants to free Piccolo somehow, but he doesn't know how to. One of the good things about this arc is that King Piccolo already collected a lot of Dragon Balls, and it's not too hard to find the rest. Once again they're able to summon Shenron, and Trunks asks to revive everyone killed by King Piccolo. That was a good experience for them. Although King Piccolo was heavily outmatched still, they haven't really seen many fights. They're getting so much stronger, and this is one of the few opportunities that they got to use more of their strength. And this gets Vegeta thinking, so they could possibly access Super Saiyan. The good thing is it actually exists, but the issue is figuring out how to use it. But Vegeta's very confident. Once they actually get this form, it may be enough to defeat Frieza. He ends up telling Goku and Trunks. He, Raditz, and Nappa have been trying to get stronger for a while, wanting to defeat Lord Frieza somehow. He tells them about the history of the Saiyan, and how much he hates Frieza, but also how powerful Frieza is. Once again, Trunks has to act shocked, as if he doesn't know this already. But some of this shock actually comes off as real to him. He hasn't heard much about Frieza. At least, not this in depth about it. He hears how passionate Vegeta is about it, how much he wants to defeat him, and about all the atrocities Frieza's committed. He's got to learn a lot about Vegeta from this experience. And although Vegeta's still somewhat of a cruel person, same with the other Saiyans still being somewhat anti-heroes, Trunks realizes this is what his mom was telling him about. He's a proud warrior. And even the Bulma in this timeline sees it too, as well as everyone else around Vegeta. He really wants to take down Frieza, and Trunks agrees. It'll be a perfect test of power for his students, and a goal for them to reach. Frieza's tyranny must be stopped, and this is where we'll leave off for now. So what did you guys think about this part? If you want to check out part 2, it'll be linked above on SmugStick's channel. Leave your thoughts in the comments below and I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And let's try to hit that like goal. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future uploads on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.